Yes, welcome once again. So today I have taken one poem from 8th standard from literature section, Imagination, and it is written by G.B.Shaw, George Bernard Shaw. So about the poet. So here you can see the picture of G.B.Shaw. He was born in Dublin in the year 1856 and he died in the year 1950. So he has written many comics, dramas, okay, and he was a literary critic and a social propagandist, winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature in the 1925, and he also won the Nobel Prize for Literature in which year? In 1925. So here are the notable works: Pygmalion, Arms and the Man, Heartbreak House, Major Barbara, Man and Superman are amongst the most notable works of G.B. Shaw. So imagination, before reading about imagination, this is a very beautiful term. So we all imagine something. Okay, so what is imagination? Imagination is ability of mind to be creative. Okay, you have different visions and you are very resourceful at that time. Okay, so this is mainly about imagination. Like in this picture you can see that like mind is ready to think about whatever comes. Okay, just let it flow. So this is the main thing of imagination. So this is a very beautiful poem by G.B. Shaw. So let us read. So in the first stanza, I used to play at pirates and sail the seven seas. Then I was a cowboy. These simple things did me please. I had a vivid imagination. Adventure was always on my mind. I discovered the joys of reading and escaped the daily grind. Once I lived with the Eskimos in the land of ice and snow, went hunting and fishing. My fantasy was all aglow. I read a book of Jules Verne and went off to the moon. It was just to take a look, then it was time to return. So in the first stanza, here we can just, it is very simple, okay, and the way he has just written, the simple language is used. I used to play at pirates and sail the seven seas. So here G.B. Shaw is telling that when he was a boy, or when during his childhood days, what he used to do, he used to just pretend like a pirates, and he used to sail the seven seas. Okay, so then I was a cowboy, and then he used to pretend that he used to imagine himself being a cowboy. These simple thing things did me please, and all by doing this, by being a pirate, by thinking himself as a pirate and sailing in the seas and also being a cowboy. So all these things used to please him, just gives him immense pleasure. So I had a vivid imagination. What is the meaning of vivid? Vivid means something powerful or something very clear. Okay, so I had vivid imagination. Adventure was always on my mind. So he is telling that I used to be I that he used to love reading the adventurous books. Okay, and he used to always think of adventure in his life. I discovered the joys of reading. Okay, and in this line he is saying that I discovered the joys of reading, that by reading, that how one used to get happy. Okay, many of you might love reading different books. Okay, so when the time when you read books, at that time you imagine yourself under among the one of the those characters, the work which you are reading. So and escape the daily grind. So he just to pass, or just avoid the day-to-day life turbulence, what he used to do, he used to take an escape. And what was that escape? He used to read. Okay, just to whatever the problems are there in his life. So when he starts reading, at that time he used to forget everything, and in that, while reading, he used to go to his imaginary world, and he used to imagine as the most powerful characters of the works that he used to read. So once I lived with the Eskimos in the land of ice and snow, went hunting and and of fishing, my fantasy was all aglow. So here we find that he's talking about Eskimos. So Eskimos are mainly those people. Nowadays, this term is not used for them. This is considered very offensive for them. Okay, so we don't use Eskimo. In place of Eskimo, we use Inuit. Inuit, or and they are also divided into three groups like Inuit, Inuit, Yupik, Yupik, Aleut, Aleut. Okay, so all these three terms are there which are used for them. Like Inuit are those people, those who used to live near Canada, and Yupik are eastern Siberian. Okay, Siberia, and Aleut are, they are the combination of these both. So once I lived with the Eskimos, it means that here you can, in the picture also, here you can find that igloo is there, and you can find this picture, it is of Eskimo, okay, in the land of ice and snow, and they used to live there in a very cold places. So went hunting and fishing, my fantasy was all aglow. And he is saying that by reading, that once he was reading, and there he just became Eskimos, and there he used to go for hunting and fishing like those Eskimos, and my fantasy was all aglow. So all this he used to fantasize. Okay, he used to just think in his fantasy. So aglow, here in this book, the definition also given, it means that at its best. Okay, so his fantasy at that time used to be at its best. So next stanza, I read a book of Jules Verne and went off to the moon. It was just to take a look, then it was time to return. So Jules Verne, many of you might be knowing Jules Verne. Already we have learned many, like in class 7th standard also you have learned the his one story written by him. So it was, name of the story was, yeah, Around the World in 80 Days. I think most of you might be remembering. So Phileas Fogg was the character. So this that was also written by him. And also Around the World in 80 Days, a journey to the center of the earth, is also written by Jules Verne, that you can find in this book also. Okay, so he is a most prominent writer. So that is also a book which here the poet is saying that he read that. I read a book of Jules Verne and went off to the moon. And he is saying that I went off to the moon. This Jules Verne has, what is the full name of Jules Verne? Jules Gabriel Verne. Okay, and he has written one more work. The name is From the Earth to Moon. Okay, so by that only, by referring that only, here it is not clear that which work he was reading, but here we can find that I read the book of Jules Verne and went off to the moon. And he is saying that by reading the book, I imagine that I am just traveling in the moon, just to see the moon, how it looks, and it was just to take a look. And he just went there just to take a look that how that moon used to look. Then it was time to return, and again he returned back. It was just to take a look, then it was time to return. I spent in the forest of Africa. And again in the next stanza, what he's saying, I spent time in the forest of Africa with Dr. Livingstone as my guide. So again Livingstone, David Livingstone, he is also an, we can say that he was an explorer. Okay, and he used to just, at the same time he is an physician, and that he used to work mainly there in the Africa, in the country Africa. Okay, so he was having great knowledge of the dark heart of Africa. So that's why again he is referring that after reading his book, what he used to find, he find himself that he is traveling Africa. And who is guiding him? If you are reading the book about anyone, so that time you will finding that whatever incidents happen with that person, so you may find that attached to it. Okay, so similar thing is told here also, that this G.B.Shaw, when he was a boy and when he was reading that book, so he was thinking that he imagined himself spending his time in the forests of Africa with, and who was his guide? Dr. Livingstone was his guide. Then off again to America, and after that he returned back to America in one more book. And when he was reading about Huckleberry Finn. So Huckleberry Finn is a fictional character. Okay, so this you may find in the in the works by Mark Twain. Okay, Mark Twain had written two many novels or many many works. So one of his work is that The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, where this Huckleberry Finn is the character which appears there, and later on its sequel was there. So that name of that sequel is The Adventure of Huckleberry Finn. So okay, so when he used to read about, and this Huckleberry Finn was also a very adventurous boy, so who loves adventure. So that's why he is saying that, and again I returned back to America, and this is the story mainly happened in this America. Next stanza, in my world of fantasy and imagination. Now you will be seeing that here the things are changing, okay. So till now he told us that where he went, like he first of all he wants to be a pirate, then a cowboy, and he used to imagine going in being a Eskimos and fishing and he's reading the books of Jules Verne and visiting moon, and after that again returning back and moving to Africa and then to America. He is finding himself roaming with Huckleberry Finn and all the adventurous things he is doing. But in this stanza, what is it is said, in my world of fantasy and imagination I performed such wonderful deeds. A hero of all the nation, I was the one that did succeed. And he used to consider himself as the hero of all nations, because he used to read the books from worldwide writers, not only of Africa or America, but he used to read the books from all over the world. That's why he used to consider, like if someone is writing from India, then time he will be considering some Indian hero at that time. So that is also told that a hero of all the nations, and he used to consider himself as the hero of all the nation. How? Only through reading books, okay, and after getting inside or merging himself with the characters that are there. In my world of fantasy and imagination I performed such wonderful deeds. And only this is not in real, okay, he is here everything he is imagining, and the fantasy, he is living in the world of fantasy. So a hero of all the nation, I was the one that did succeed. And he used to think himself as the greatest hero, okay, under which that he as a successor of the whole world. So then I grew up my childish world at an end. So again he is saying that now he is thinking that again when I became a little bit mature, when he got a little bit mature, at that time he find that all those things were childish. I had become serious, it nearly drove me around the bend. I still do like the mysterious things. Mysterious. This is the message I am trying to send. And he is saying that again, when I came in touch with the harsh reality of life, at that time I was moving away from the imaginative world. But still I find imagination used to make me happy, and still I find pleasure in the mysterious things whenever I used to read book. So here he is just mainly focusing on reading the books, that what are the importance and how we used to just move from place to place when we used to imagine. So this is the gist of the poem, we can say imagination, that how it helped George Bernard Shaw, that when he used to read the books, through that he used to travel all the places through the writers, okay. So yes, so your examinations are coming, so I hope that mainly objective questions will come, okay. So for that you will it will be grateful and also helpful for you that if you just post two questions, okay, two objective type questions, and in the comment box, so that all your friends will also get helped, and whenever the examination is there, so you will be getting all the questions at one place, okay. So have a okay, so I haven't provided the difficult words so that you can do, because all the words I have explained, and some words are given in your book also, okay. So with that I would like to end this video, and just stay safe, okay. So thank you.